Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jimmy's JamBox. We're here. We're back at it again, and we're going to get on into it. But before we do, as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And with that being said, here's a quick word from our sponsor. Hibiscus, a lush and invigorating tea. Bright, tart, and a touch sweet, this passion-inspired blend is crafted with hibiscus, lemongrass, rose petals, cranberry, spearmint, orange, and lemon peel. The Brothers Apothecary. Fine teas and remedies. All right, thank you so much for watching again. Shout out The Brothers Apothecary. Make sure to click the link below. Go check them out. Guarantee you're going to like something. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get on into it. Here is today's guest.
Hello, I am Angeline Moore.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm very nervous and excited and nervous and excited.
You're going to have a great time.
Yay.
Let's go ahead and get into it. How did you get started with music initially?
I mean, I've always done choir and stuff, but the moment I literally thought I was going to be a basketball player, and then I stopped growing in 5th grade. Anyway, I was singing in the car ride home when I was 11. One day, and my mom cried and my sister cried, and I was like, why are you guys crying? This is so awkward. And then they were like, you're really good at singing, and I was like, oh, interesting. I guess I'm gonna sing now. So yeah, I made people cry with singing and thought I would do that.
Yeah, I mean, that's
like
a
good
pretty solid
tears.
basis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope they weren't like, oh, it's
oh my God, no. I was like, no, that's cool. Weird. I'm gonna do that more. Not make people cry all the time. No. But like with music, maybe.
Oh, yeah. And do you play any instruments now?
Yes. I play piano, guitar, ukulele, and that's it. And sing. Yeah. I mostly sing. But yes, I do play.
There's a fair amount of instruments.
Yeah. I don't know how to read music. I did AP Music Theory. I failed it. But I'm a lot better after that class anyway. Like, I joined 2 weeks later, so by the time I joined, I didn't know how to read the staff, and they were moving on to intervals, and I'm like, I don't know what that is. So that was interesting, but I taught myself a lot of it, and it's been just fine, but yeah, I do it so I can accompany myself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it helps, I don't
exactly
read music either. I've always been a by-ear person.
Yep.
But there are benefits to both, I think.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
I do want to learn more. Yeah. Eventually.
You know, I think over time,
With time.
Billy Sheehan was one of those people who, like, he knew how to play long before he knew how to read. And by the time he, like, learned how to read.
That's insane.
Yeah, he was just, well, I mean, like, read music. Sorry.
Right. That's so crazy. Though.
Yeah. But by the time he learned it, he was like, oh, it's just this. So, like, he had still figured it out.
Right.
Just,
in a different way, too, though.
Yeah.
You know, muscle memory, hearing it instead of reading it or, like, putting it on paper sometimes. Yeah. It's just different, you know.
I would say
different ways to learn.
Yeah, I would say went the long way around.
Yes, exactly. I'm still doing it.
Yeah, no, I mean, as long as you're playing, I think that's really what it comes down to.
Exactly.
Music, it's like if you're doing it all the time, you're still learning it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They say that it takes 10,000 hours to master something. Insane.
Yeah. I mean, unless you do it every day.
Exactly.
It adds up. Somebody did the math on it. It's only like, I think it's like 8 years if you do X amount of hours, like X amount of days a week.
That's actually not that.
No. Like,
when you like think of it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because isn't there like 825,000
Don't ask me
minutes?
math.
What is? I don't know what that song
know.
is called. There's a song about how many minutes are in a year.
I don't know.
Yeah, but either way,
okay.
It math. There's somebody be doing some math and they found out it's not as long as it seems.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll try.
I mean,
I'm going for 10,000 hours after this now.
Perfect.
Coming.
That's just going to be your new Instagram thing. You're like,
Yeah.
here's hour 1.
There we go.
Hour 376.
It could be fun. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. But let's get back into the line of questions here.
Mm-hmm.
This next one, it's a fun one. It's one we ask early. It's one we ask often, and it's definitely a crowd favorite. What was the first album you ever bought with your own money?
With my own money, I think it was Mayday Parade when I was like 13.
Okay.
I think they're from Tennessee, Tallahassee. I don't know, but either way, they were coming to Alaska, and we don't get a lot of bands up there at all. So I was like, oh my God, they're coming. I better find out who they are. And then I liked them, and then I went to their concert, and it was great. But yeah, I think it was Mayday Parade. I don't really listen to them, though, anymore at all.
I think we grow out of some of the music we start with, for sure. There's definitely a handful of first albums that
I'm sure that if I listened to songs, I'd be like, oh, how nostalgic.
Yep.
But like, yeah, I think it was Mayday Parade.
Hey, that's
my
solid
first
option.
album ever, though, was S Club 7. It was,
hell yeah.
Yeah, it's the European pop, but I also lived in England, so it made sense.
Just came up on another episode a little while back.
S Club 7?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that. A lot of people don't know who they are, but it's funny to bring up because I'm like...
It was Rachel Wong's episode, and we were just going through throwback lists, and I think she said Spice Girls, and I was like, well, if you're going to say them, you got to say S Club 7.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. They're the same thing. Dude, there was this concert, a tour that's happened in Europe, and there's like S Club 7, Aqua, and the Spice Girls, some of them, and I was like, I need to go to that.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Throwback.
Right. Well, and before we move on to the next one, are you from Alaska, moved to England now here? What was that?
I was born in California, but I moved when I was 1. I moved when I was 1. And my stepdad at the time was in the military. And so he got stationed in England and then got stationed in Alaska. So, yeah. California, year went by, spent 7 years in England and then 16 years in Alaska.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah.
So you really got into music in Alaska?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. I was, 11 when I started singing. And then after that, people kept gifting me instruments. Like my first piano, my first ukulele, my first guitar, all of them were gifted. And it was cute. They were just like, hey, I think you would do something with that. And so I'm grateful for that, but that's also the reason why I play.
Yeah.
It was just like, okay, people believe in me for this thing. That's so cute.
Yeah.
Sure, let me do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for going through that. Like I said, I wanted to figure out where that correlation was.
Yeah.
But getting back into it, for this next one, I want you to think about like the one that you chose to go to. But what was the first live show you ever experienced?
The very first live show.
Well, that was, like I said, that was one that you wanted to go to. So like you saw the show was happening.
Oh man, AURORA. Yeah. AURORA. She's a Norwegian artist.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
Yep.
She's a little fairy, too pure for this world. And I've met her twice, actually. Beautiful human. Yeah, that wasn't until, I think it was 2018. But I saw that she had a U.S. tour, and I was like, I need to go there.
Yeah.
So I went to Vegas on April 20th.
Oh, I bet that was amazing.
And went and saw her, and she was opening up for Alt J. So that was kind of cool, too.
Yeah.
I was like, awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my first one that I was like, I need to go there.
Yeah, definitely. Man, I've always wanted to see her and Bjork and Erykah Badu in a room
Oh my
together.
God, it would be so
Wouldn't it be amazing?
All of them, just the little weirdos and fairies and the thing. Yes, I would be there.
Like maybe Doja Cat could pass through.
A little bit.
Can't stay for the whole thing.
She can't stay. No.
Yeah. But I'm sure she
can,
would contribute.
She can. Absolutely. And Doja Cat also loves AURORA.
Oh, perfect. Well, then she can stay.
I watched that on one of her lives. It was cute.
But no, I always imagine that conversation just being incredible.
Definitely. Yeah. That would be so entertaining. One day, hopefully.
Yeah. All y'all.
Do you hear? Do you hear? Okay.
But getting back to you, let's go ahead and get on into you as the current day artist.
Yeah.
And we're going to get the easy one out of the way. How'd you pick the name?
Well, my grandma, actually, I'm named after my great grandma and my grandma. Angeline Yeah. Angeline is my great grandma, and then my great grandma was Akella, I think. Anyway, she died 2 months before I was born, and my grandma named me. So my grandma gave it to me, but I'm choosing to go by Akella for music, just because it shows a little bit of like who I am. It's a Hawaiian name, and a lot of people don't look at me and say, "Oh, you're Hawaiian." I don't look like that, but I am. So I think it's really cool. But yeah, got it from my family.
Nice. It's also just a really cool name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
And then let's talk about your writing process. And we're going to break it up into parts.
Okay.
But we're going to start right at the beginning.
Okay.
So you get inspired. You are in the mood to make music. We'll skip that step. What are some of the first things you do to start a track, to get a song going?
It's usually a thought in my head that I come out with. It's usually a one-liner that I'm like, oh, I liked that even if it was sad or mad or angry. That was a good line. It usually starts with a play off words in my head. You know, I'm like, with honest feeling though. It's not just like, oh, willy-nilly. It's like, oh, I feel this way. Oh, I liked how that sounded in my brain. That rhymed. I'm going to write a song about it. Yeah, it usually starts with the words. And then I try to write out a verse or two. And then I'll come up with a melody. And then everything else follows after that. But yeah, words and then the music. Yeah.
And then once you have a song finished, so you've written the whole song.
Yeah.
How long does it take you to get comfortable performing it? How long does it take you to like feel like you know the song well enough to do in front of people?
Oh man, I am so nervous when I jam or like share my song. So it takes a little bit. I have to feel like I have mastered it myself before I can share it with the public. About, I would say, depending on the style, if I'm doing a pop thing or if I'm doing like a folky song, it depends on how it's being played, but usually it takes a month or two before I'm comfortable. You know, I take my time until I really marinate in it, and you know.
I mean, you got to let it marinate.
Exactly. I need a little bit of flavor in there.
I mean, honestly, I don't. There are a lot of people that are like, oh, I could do it the same day. As soon as it's finished writing, I could
sometimes,
do it. Sometimes,
but
like,
yeah.
I think giving it some time to like practice being projected. Like,
I mean, there's sometimes where like the idea feels good, but I have to master it now. So yeah, I take my time. It could take anywhere from 2 months to a couple weeks. Yeah, truly, to be able to perform somewhere with it. I can't just, I just wrote this song today. Let's go play it now. No, I will vomit on the stage if I do that.
Definitely don't want that.
No.
And then looking back on, let's look at 2023 since we're still so close to it. How did your process change in that year?
2023, I didn't do anything. I was taking a whole hiatus. It wasn't until the end of 2023, probably around October, where I started playing music again and picking up where I left off 2 years prior to that. Like, I kind of took a break from 2021 to the end of 2023.
Well, that sounds like a change.
Yeah, it was
an abrupt halt.
Yeah, it was an abrupt halt on music, but I was also moving and going through a bunch of things and whatever. So, I don't know. It just feels all brand new still. Yeah. I feel like I just started doing it again. Yeah. So not much has changed in the process. It's just this start up of doing it again.
What inspired the resurgence then?
That I was in a comfortable space and out of my feels. I was like, oh, okay, socializing. I forgot that's a thing that humans do. Let's go back to doing music. That's going to help.
That's definitely a good
So yeah, I got a little more comfortable and out of a bad headspace that I was in for a while. Oh, yeah. And yeah, just started putting myself out there again. And here we are.
Oh yeah. And then looking at I know you have a song coming out soon that we're definitely going to talk about, but looking at your current sound and say, most recent songs that you've written, what are some elements of your music that you enjoy?
The elements, I like when I write and other people feel connected in a way of helping them through trauma, Yeah. I have a lot of sad songs. My biggest thing is just the connection with the people that I can make with it. And if I am doing something good in another person's life with it, then I've done my job. Like, if I inspire you, then I'm there. I'm done. You know, that's what I want. Yeah.
No, I love that. But just to rephrase the question a little bit, what are some of the like attributes of the music that you enjoy? So like the particular parts of the sound.
That's a hard question. I just like music. Music is an outlet for me. You know, I don't know how to answer that question.
Well, I mean,
Like,
I would say like the descriptive characteristics. So like, you know, like for me, when I do talk box stuff, I like that I do a lot of like glidey runs. You know what I mean? It's a lot of like pitch bends as I'm moving upwards. It's like a characteristic that I like.
You know, okay. So it's like with my folky stuff, it's really soft and sweet. Really soft and sweet and sad and wholesome. But my pop stuff is an alter ego. She's, you know, it's more spicy, more fun. Yeah, they're two different sounds though. I don't know. Yeah.
Huh. Well, thank you for explaining that. That's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
And then this will be probably the last question in this middle portion before we move on to the third segment. But what is your goal with music? What do you want to do from here?
Again, as long as I can inspire someone through it, that would be awesome. Yeah. I really do love performing, but it's the connection that I make with the people I'm performing in front of that really is my biggest driving force of doing music. Yeah, just really connecting with other people, honestly, inspiring other people through music, being a friend to someone, maybe if they feel like they don't have one, you know, being able to reach out to people that feel like they don't have anybody, I guess, through music.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you plan on expanding to a band at any point?
Yes, I did. I've had a couple bands here and there throughout my career so far, but yes, absolutely. I'm working on it. Okay. It's a thing. It's in the process right now, actually. So I'm excited. We'll see. Yeah.
Are they going to be a part of the release that's coming out soon?
So this one I worked with one in particular person, and they go by Cave Sayer. We actually recorded the song 3 years ago, but I was just a voice on his project, but I wrote the lyrics and sang.
Oh, gotcha.
He also helps write the lyrics as well. So it's actually his project that I'm a big part of.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's still super exciting, but no, I don't think we're going to do a band thing, but we'll probably do some songs and stuff. Okay. Still a couple more here and there, but yeah, he's all the way in Alaska and I'm in Portland. So
yeah, that makes it a little bit tougher.
A little bit hard.
Do you know a band named Noise Brigade?
Yes, I do know. Yes. Oh. I've seen them perform a couple of times. Oh, how do you know them?
They've been on the show.
God, I did not know that.
Shout out Noise Brigade.
Hi, Noise Brigade. That's awesome.
Cool. Yeah. When you said you're from Alaska, I was like, I have to ask.
That's so cool. Yeah. Yes, I do.
Oh,
I know.
Awesome.
Yes.
Rad dudes. They're here now.
I didn't know that. Actually, no, I did run into one of them. It's like a couple years ago, 2 years ago, and he was working at some McMinimans. Oh,
wow. Yeah, they play here now, so definitely check them out.
I will have to. Yeah. All right, cool.
All right, but let's go ahead and move on to this next segment, which is all hypothetical questions. And for these ones, the questions are made up, so the answers are allowed to be two. Sky's the limits. And the first one, if you could work with any one person, the only requirement is they have to be alive. Who would you want to work with, and how would you want to work with them?
Musically?
Yes.
AURORA. She's amazing.
I had a feeling that was the answer.
Yeah. I would love to just even sing with her on stage one day. You know, harmonize, write a song together. Just interview her. Yeah. I would love to perform with her one day. That'd be so cool. I feel like that would be my bucket list.
That would be the experience for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then subsequently, who's a local artist that you're aware of that you haven't gotten to work with yet, but you would like to?
Scarlett, actually. We just met recently, but when I first moved to Portland, I was in a Portland music group, and I was like, hey, I really want to collaborate with people. And like 3 people had tagged her in it. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, let's do it. But just as of today, I just met her earlier.
Oh,
so, yeah, that's one person that I would like to work with.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, yeah. And then for this next one, like I said before, literally sky's the limits.
Yes.
But if you could perform anywhere in the world and you wouldn't have to worry about crowd access, building stability, power, guaranteed best lineup, guaranteed best show, and it doesn't have to be a venue, where would you want to perform?
Stonehenge.
Ooh.
Why not? I mean, I used to live in Europe, but that's also a cool place. And could you imagine having a concert there?
People aren't even allowed to stand there.
I don't know.
No,
I've seen pictures where people are like standing in there, but I've been to Stonehenge when I was like this small. I'm now like this small.
When you were a pebble?
Yeah, when I was just a little pebble. Now I'm a rock. But I forgot. Anyway, yeah. No, Stonehenge. I think that'd be a dope place.
Yeah. No.
Like, yeah.
I mean, the vibes will be there for sure.
Right? It's kind of like the Red Rocks, except Stonehenge.
Yeah.
Different.
And then if you could get one more album from anybody, they could be alive, they could be dead, they could have put out an album yesterday, they could have not put out an album in 100 years, but you can get an album from anybody. Who would you want an album from?
I'm already getting albums from the people I want albums from. So I would say Matt Corby from Australia. Matt Corby. He needs to put out another album. He just needs to. Yeah. He's so good. He has the voice of Zeus, a god. Like, if you haven't listened to him, you should.
I'm not familiar.
His voice is like whiskey butter. It's like smooth, but whiskey. But whiskey. Whiskey-ish. Yeah.
It's got whiskey in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I'll definitely have to check that out.
Super awesome.
You know, I don't always think of people to like follow up with these questions, but you saying Australia made me think of, I think they're New Zealand, so don't quote me on this. But the Brett Domino trio needs to come out of retirement and make another album.
I'm going to have to look up who they are.
There's only 2 of them. That's the fun part.
Oh, gosh.
But it's the Brett Domino trio. And they made some viral song way back in the day. It was like, it was something bassoon.
Bassoon.
Yeah, it had to do with a bassoon. That's the only thing I could tell you. But
it really stuck in there, though.
They have this album. I think it's called it's something funk. I can't even remember what it's called. But it's overly produced and it's obnoxious and it's hilarious.
And you love it.
And it's a 10 out of 10 album.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I wish I could remember the name, but if you look up Brett Domino,
I will.
Hell yeah. But let's go ahead and start wrapping this up. Tell us all about the new song coming up. Give us all the details on that.
It's a song about being mad inside and holding it in, but it's going to be exciting. It's like dark EDM, but it's a bop. You're going to want to dance to it. But yeah, it's a song called Infrared that I did with Cave Sayer, and we are releasing it on all platforms on February 16th, and I am so excited for it to be yours.
And do you have any other events or things coming up in the near future?
Yeah, we're going to be making a music video for it. So keep eye out for that. We're doing the things and stuff for after the song is released. But other than that, no, I want to get a show after that. Yeah.
Well, you're definitely in the right place.
Still getting it back in, but so far I feel there's things to look forward to.
No.
Yeah.
And then go ahead and for this next one, look straight at the camera and tell everybody how they can find you.
Hi, you can find me on Facebook as Angeline Moore, or you can find me on Instagram at Akela Music, AK.ELA Music. Yes. Those are going to be your best bets. Also YouTube. And then after the 16th on Spotify and other things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then any other plugs, any other shout outs, anybody else you want to put on while you're on here?
Cave Sayer, first of all, thank you for that. Also, thank you for having me on here. And I love you guys.
All right, now we've got one last question to go.
Okay.
Before we do, I'm going to steal the camera for just a second.
Okay.
As always, y'all, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And one more shout out to the Brothers Apothecary. Make sure to click the link below. Go check them out. Guarantee you're going to like something. But with that being said, the final question. And this is entirely up to your interpretation.
Okay.
But what is an album you feel is more on the obscure side, but is one that you think everybody should know?
Infections of a Different Kind, again, by Aurora. It hits you deep in the feels, but it's relatable and they're good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Infections of a Different Kind.
Love
Infections, yes. Yes, that's the name.
I'm sure everybody will be able to find it just fine.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. This has been another exciting episode of Jimmy's JamBox. I'm Jimmy.
And I'm Angeline Moore.
And we're signing off later, y'all.
That's a wrap.
This is not a podcast. This is a show.
Keep jamming.